السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته طلاب المرحلة الثانية كلية الصيدلة جامعة بابل. Our topic today is male reproductive hormones. The male genitourinary system is composed of paired gonads or testes, genital ducts, accessory organs, and the penis. The dual function of the testes is first, to produce the male sex androgens, mainly the testosterone, and secondly, to produce spermatozoa, or it can be called male germ cells. The internal accessory organs produce the fluid constituents of the semen, and the ductile system aids in the storage and the transport of spermatozoa, while the penis function in urine elimination and sexual function. How the process of spermatogenesis is performed, and what is the meaning of spermatogenesis? Spermatogenesis refers to the generation or production of spermatozoa or sperms. Spermatogenesis occurs in the seminiferous tubules of the testes. The testes are composed of several hundred lobules. Each lobule contains one or more coiled seminiferous tubules. The outer layer of the seminiferous tubule is made up of connective tissue and a smooth muscle. The inner lining is composed of Sertoli cells. These cells are embedded with the sperm in various stages of development. As you can see, this is the testes, and these are the seminiferous tubules. Okay, what is the importance of Sertoli cells? Sertoli cells secrete a special fluid that contains nutrients to bathe and nourish the immature germ cells. They provide digestive enzymes that play a role in spermination. It means the conversion of spermatocyte to a sperm, and they are thought to play a role in the shaping the head or on the tail of the sperm. Sertoli cells also play an important role in the secretion of several male hormones, which are the principal feminizing sex hormone, the estradiol, which seems to be required in the male for spermatogenesis. The second is the inhibin, which controls the function of Sertoli cells through feedback inhibition of follicle stimulating hormone from the anterior pituitary gland. So, as you can see, Sertoli cells are important in the generation of spermatozoa, in their nutrition, and in their shaping. They also play an important role in the production of estradiol and inhibin. As you can see, these are figures that represent the Sertoli cells. And if you can see, this is the entire Sertoli cell. This is the Sertoli cell, and this is the nucleus of Sertoli cells, while these are the spermatocytes. Okay, these are the primary spermatocyte, the secondary spermatocytes, and finally the spermatides. Okay, in the second figure, as you can see, these are the Sertoli cells. Okay, After the spermatozoa are formed in the seminiferous tubule, as you can see, these are the seminiferous tubules. They travel through the efferent arterioles. Okay, they travel through the efferent tubules to the epididymis, and this is the epididymis. Okay, they are formed, the spermatozoa are formed in the seminiferous tubules, and they travel through the efferent tubules to the epididymis. These are the efferent tubules, and this is the shape of the epididymis. This is the head and the tail of the epididymis. And what is the importance of the epididymis? Epididymis act as the final site for the sperm maturation. Because the spermatozoa are not motile at this stage of development, peristaltic movement of the ductal walls of the epididymis aid in their movement. The spermatozoa will continue their migration through the ductus deferens. This is the ductus deferens or the vas deferens. As you can see, this is the head of the epididymis, and this is the tail of the epididymis, and this is the vas deferens or the ductal deferens, which pass behind the seminiferous tubules. Okay, the spermatozoa will continue their migration through the ductus deferens or vas deferens, also called the vas deferens. The ampulla of the vas deferens serve as a storage reservoir for the sperm. The sperm will be stored in the ampulla of the vas deferens until they are released through the penis during ejaculation. Spermatozoa can be stored in the genital duct for as long as 42 days and still maintain their fertility. The seminal vesicles and the prostate gland and the bulbourethral glands form the accessory reproductive structures. So, the accessory reproductive structures, including the seminal vesicles, the prostate, and the bulbourethral glands. These are the accessory reproductive structures of the male genitourinary system. And we will continue with the spermatozoa, which with the secretions from the genital ducts and the accessory organs make up the semen. So the semen will contain the spermatozoa and the secretions from the genital ducts and the accessory organs. The seminal vesicles consist of two highly tortuous tubes that secrete fluid for the semen. Each of the paired seminal vesicle is lined with secretory epithelium containing abundance of fructose, prostaglandins, and several other proteins. What is the importance of these substances? Fructose, which secreted by the seminal vesicles, provides the energy for sperm motility. Prostaglandins are thought to assist in fertilization by making the cervical mucosa more receptive to the sperm and by causing reverse peristaltic contractions in the uterus and fallopian tubes to move the sperms towards the ovaries. Each seminal vesicle joins its corresponding vas deferens to form the ejaculatory duct. These are the vas deferens, okay, and it will pass through the epididymis, okay, and will continue with the seminal vesicle. Okay, this is the prostatic gland. This is the testes, epididymis, the vas deferens, and this is the seminal vesicle, the prostatic gland. This is the urinary bladder. Okay. Each seminal vesicle will join its corresponding vas deferens to form the ejaculatory duct. Which enters the posterior part of the prostate. As you can see, it will pass through the posterior part of the prostate and continue through until it ends in the prostatic portion of the urethra. Okay. During coitus, each vesicle empties fluid into the ejaculatory duct, adding bulk to the semen. Approximately 70% of the ejaculate originate in the seminal vesicle. What about the prostate? The prostate gland surrounds the urethra under the bladder, and it secretes an alkaline fluid. This is the bladder, and this is the prostate. As you can see, the prostate is surrounding the urethra. The prostate is surrounding the urethra. What is the importance of the prostate gland? It secretes an alkaline fluid that neutralizes the acidity of male urethra and also the acidity of vagina. Without its secretion, many sperm will die and no fertilization is possible. The prostate contains 5 alpha reductase, which convert the testosterone to its active form, which is the dihydrotestosterone. Regarding the hormonal control of male reproductive function, the male sex hormones are called androgens. The testes secrete several male sex hormones, including testosterone, dihydrotestosterone, which is the active form, and the androstenedione. Testosterone, which is the most abundant of these hormones, is considered the main testicular hormone. It is produced and secreted by the interstitial Leydig cells. Testosterone is produced and secreted by Leydig cells. These cells are present in the testes. It is metabolized in the liver, the testosterone, and excreted by the kidney. The testes also secrete small quantities of the other hormones, which are the estradiol and estrogen. As you can see, this is the testes, and this is a cross section of the testes. As you remember from the last figures, this is the Sertoli cells, okay? These are the Leydig cells which produce the testosterone. And if we take this section under microscope, it will appear in this form. As you can see, these are the purple one, these are the Sertoli cells, while these are the Leydig cells. Okay, these are the Leydig cells. And as we learn from the last figures, these are the spermatocytes, the primary spermatocytes, the secondary spermatocytes, and the spermatides. Okay, and these are the mature spermatozoa. In the bloodstream, as we continue talking about testosterone, and as we know that testosterone produced by the Sertoli cells, in the bloodstream, testosterone exists in a free, unbounded form or bounded form. The bounded form is attached to the plasma protein, including albumin and the sex hormone binding protein, which is produced by the liver. Only approximately 2% of circulatory testosterone is unbounded and therefore able to enter the cell and exert its metabolic effects. Testosterone also can be aromatized or converted to estradiol in the peripheral tissues. What are the biological effects of testosterone in the male body? As an male embryo, testosterone is essential for the appropriate differentiation of the internal and external genitalia, and it is necessary for the descent of the testes in the fetus. Testosterone is also essential for the development of primary and secondary male sex characters during puberty and for the maintenance of these characteristics during adult life. It causes growth of pubic chest and facial hair, and it produces changes in the larynx that result in the male bass voice, and it increases the thickness of the skin and the activity of the sebaceous glands, predisposing to acne. All or almost all of the actions of testosterone and other androgens results from increased protein synthesis in the target tissues. Androgen function as anabolic agent in males and females to promote metabolism and musculoskeletal growth. Testosterone and the androgens have a great effect on the development of increasing musculature during puberty, with boys averaging approximately 50% more of an increase in muscle mass than do girls. The hypothalamus and the anterior pituitary gland play an essential role in promoting spermatogenic activity in the testes and maintaining the endocrine function of the testes by means of gonadotropic hormone. This is similar to their function in the female. The synthesis and release of gonadotropic hormones from the pituitary gland are regulated by gonadotropin releasing hormone, which is synthesized by the hypothalamus and secreted into the hypophyseal portal circulation. Two gonadotropic hormones are secreted by the pituitary gland, which are the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, and they are similar to those that are present in female. In male, luteinizing hormone, also called the interstitial cell stimulating hormone. The production of testosterone by the interstitial cells of Leydig cells is regulated by luteinizing hormone. Okay, so the luteinizing hormone will act on the interstitial cells of Leydig to increase the production of testosterone. So it is called the interstitial cell stimulating hormone. While follicle stimulating hormone binds selectively to Sertoli cells surrounding the seminiferous tubules, where it functions in the initiation of spermatogenesis. These are very important to be put in mind. As you can see, the follicle stimulating hormone is very important to act on the Sertoli cells, and it functions in the initiation of spermatogenesis, while the luteinizing hormone is called the interstitial cells stimulating hormones, will stimulate the Leydig cells to produce testosterone. Under the influence of FSH, Sertoli cells will produce androgen binding protein, plasminogen activator, and inhibin. So, under influence of follicle stimulating hormone, Sertoli cells will produce these three important factors, which are the androgen binding protein, plasminogen activator, and the inhibin. Androgen binding protein, from its name, it will bind testosterone and serve as a carrier of testosterone in Sertoli cells and as a storage site for testosterone. Although FSH is necessary for initiation of spermatogenesis, full maturation of the spermatozoa requires testosterone. So, FSH will initiate spermatogenesis, while full maturation of spermatozoa will require testosterone. While androgen binding protein also serve as a carrier of testosterone from the testes to the epididymis. This is the importance of androgen binding protein. It will serve as a carrier for testosterone from the testes to the epididymis, as we learn from the previous study that the testosterone is produced in the testes. Okay, and it is required to be carried into the epididymis for complete maturation of the spermatozoa. Plasminogen activator will convert plasminogen to plasmin. So plasmin function in the final detachment of mature spermatozoa from the Sertoli cells. Plasminogen activator will convert plasminogen into plasmin, and this plasmin will function in the final detachment of mature spermatozoa from the Sertoli cells. Circulating level of gonadotropic hormone are regulated by, as you know from the previous lectures, it is regulated in a negative feedback manner by the testosterone. High level of testosterone will suppress the LH secretion, luteinizing hormone secretion, through a direct action on the pituitary and an inhibitory effect on the hypothalamus. A high level of testosterone will inhibit the production of LH through a direct action on the pituitary and the hypothalamus. FSH is thought to be inhibited by a substance called inhibin. Inhibin produced by Sertoli cells, and it suppresses the follicle stimulating hormone release from the pituitary gland. The pituitary gonadotropic hormones and Sertoli cells in the testes form a classic negative feedback loop in which the FSH stimulates inhibin, and inhibin again will suppress the FSH. Unlike the cyclic hormonal pattern in the male, FSH and LH and testosterone secretion and spermatogenesis occur at relatively unchanging rates during adulthood. And if you get the note, the cyclical hormonal changes that occur in female during the menstrual cycle will not occur in the male body, And this changes in the level of LH and FSH that occur in the female body will not occur in the same manner in the male body. In male, the FSH, LH, and testosterone secretion and also the spermatogenesis occur relatively in unchanging rates. This is during the adulthood. Thank you for your listening, and I will see you in the next lecture. Good luck.